In this video, we're going to go through some of the forms on the Perkins application that are required to be completed by the district. In a previous video, we went through some general information. I recommend checking that out. For this video, let's just jump right in. So I've logged in. I'll find Perkins applications, and I'll jump right to our district. So best practice would be that the forms required by the district be completed first. As a prerequisite, there are some things that are completed in these three menu items that I'm pointing to that are required prior to an institution being able to go in and complete their forms. And I'll highlight that as we go through it. So I'll land on the details and status page. This was covered in a previous video, but this is information only. Same with the application map, our home base for this application. This is also covered in a previous video. And then let's jump into contacts. So Margaret Lau, her name has automatically been assigned to this application because she was entered as the project director from the headcount certification. So when the CBO or whatever authority did the headcount certification, they were asked to input the project director for Perkins V. Margaret Lau was input, so she carried over. So Margaret is the first person that's going to have any roles and permissions to be able to edit this application. The first thing that Margaret will want to do is add other contacts. So the required contacts are the district superintendent or president, and the responsible administrator from the college. So I've completed 2 of the 3 here, and let's add somebody from the college. Giving somebody this responsibility will give them the appropriate permissions to be able to update or edit their institution's forms. So this being a single college district, there's only one college in this dropdown. If I want to assign this role on a temporary basis, I can do so and enter the date that permission would expire. I'm not going to do that for this example. Boom, we get them in here. There is informative text here that will tell you what these roles and permissions that a person is getting when we assign them as a contact. So please make sure you read this information prior to adding anybody as a contact. It will be very helpful in understanding what people may and may not do as they're added as a contact. I'm not limited to just these 3. I can add multiple people for each contact. So I just added Jason Cozy as an alternate or additional district superintendent president. He could be a designee for the actual district superintendent or president. And if I ever need to delete a contact, I can do so by doing that. So for example, if Ryan French here is no longer the district superintendent president, I could come in, add the new person, and then remove Ryan French as well. Okay. Margaret is also the CBO or Chief Executive Officer for the college. This is the person that is going to submit the application overall. So if this person's name is incorrect and needs to be changed, please read the helper text, and you can use Nova support to have that updated. So let's jump into forms now. As you'll see, a new workflow or our menu items are revealed. And the first item would be responses. So narrative questions that need to be answered. There is guidance text here. You can click that chevron and it will give you guidance text. Please read it and be familiar with it. It's going to help you better answer these questions. You have an 8,000 character limit. If I click in here, you'll see we have full HTML capabilities. So you can put whatever kind of formatting in your answers you would like. Once they are all completed, my validation will say completed, and I can click next at the bottom, next up top, or simply click the next thing here. When we get into the local needs assessment, again, read the helper text. It's going to be informative and help you better answer these questions. Here we have a 2,500 character limit, so a bit more concise of an answer. And then we're going to need to upload our local needs assessment. And to do that, I'm going to click Add Document. I'm going to browse my computer for our local needs assessment file. I'll click that, add it. I can put comments in here, should I choose, and upload it. So that is a required step. You'll see once it uploads, my status and validation says completed, and then on to goals and metrics. This is an important step. This is where the district and all of the colleges will need to align around the vision goals that they're going to try to address, and which metric is going to be their key indicator of success for that vision goal. If again, we have guidance text here, you can click that. Please read this. The vision goals are here for your information. It takes up too much real estate, you can collapse it. So for Allen Hancock, for our district, for this year's Perkins plan, we are going to try to address completion, unit accumulation, and workforce. We are not going to try to address transfer and equity. So once I've selected those buttons, I then will select the metrics that we feel we will improve upon to try to address the need for unit accumulation. So this is a list of all relevant student success metrics, and you can see it's a multi-select, so I can add as many or as few of these as I like, one being the minimum. If I need to delete one, I can simply click it. So this has created a list that will be referenced going forward when we get into the institution-specific forms. When they're building out programs, they will only be able to build out programs on completion, unit accumulation, and workforce, and their activities will need to align with the metrics that we've selected. So this information is used going forward, and that's why it's important that everybody collaborates on this and is aligned. Next item is the budget summary. This is information only. There's nothing required here. We do have an error. I'll click the error stepper and see here that our administration expenditure exceeds 5%. So I'm not going to be able to go much further until we've completed this. I wouldn't be able to submit the application. But on this form, you can see, again, district information. We have guidance text here where we're showing the expenditure categories. We have a total program roll-up. We also have college roll-ups. So I can see here that Allen Hancock Joint CCD has no administrative expenses, but Allen Hancock College does. So I would want to reach out to them to try to get them to adjust their administrative expense so we fall below the 5% required. As in each section, there will be a preview here where all of the information from the forms above is in a nice, tidy format, which I can use to reference. I can use that to share. Say there's a colleague that is not collaborating with us. They're not listed as a contact, but I can send this to them where they can provide us comments. This will go in the email that is sent to them. It's going to be sent as a PDF. It will also be sent as accessible HTML. You'll also see that once I enter the person, I've got this print preview where I can click here. I can see what the document will look like that's going to be attached. And then I have the option to save this as well, or print it to PDF if I wanted to save it on my computer. Okay. So from the breadcrumbs, I can click workflow, or I can click workflow here to go back to the previous menu. And so let's go to certification, the next required set of forms for the district. So we have the allocation certification. That was certified by Margaret. If it hadn't been certified, she would see an approve button here that she could click if everything looked good as far as the allocation certification. We also have a list of insurances, just basically stating that we understand and will be compliant with Perkins legislation. Ryan French has certified this. Our validation says completed, and then on to regulations. Again, information to read, understand, and be compliant with. There is the option to put in the place of performance, to put in an address. You can have multiple of those, or you can check a box that says that there are workplaces on file that are not identified here. So this is also going to be required that the district superintendent or president certifies this. So this is what it would look like if it has not been approved. And since I've put myself in here as the district superintendent, I'm going to click certify. We capture the date and timestamp. Validation goes to completed, and then onto target performance. So this is where we are going to align to the state targets or not. If we accept the state targets, we simply check the box. If we do not check the box, and we enter in the percentage that we feel we can achieve. So we have entered 71.4%. You'll see that a narrative has popped up for me to answer. You'll see that if I uncheck this box, another one will pop up. So it is target specific. I'll click that. And then again, there is a certification here. This is for the regional monitor who has been entered by an administrator into Nova as Jean-Claude. So he has come in here, he has clicked this, and then we'll move on to actual performance. Once again, informative helper text there to read and understand. Check this box to let everybody know that you have completed this form. Not much there to complete, it's more information. Check that box, and then again, we have a preview. So all of the information is in a tidy little package. Let's just say our district superintendent is yet to certify. These would show as not certified, and maybe I could share that to that person. Click that. I would send it to Ryan French, our district superintendent, and say, hey, have you had a chance to review the Perkins application and approve or accept X, Y, and Z? That would be one way that you could manage it, is by sharing that. Okay, and again, if everything looks good, we go back to our menu. In the next video, we will cover these two sections, which are institution-specific forms. As always, if you have any questions, need support, you may click help. You'll find videos for Perkins. You'll also find a template that you can complete to send us a question or a comment. So, thanks for tuning in.